We're living in a time where only the most easily digestible content is taken into account, where even a basic video description is ignored outright. We are in the ease of access era, but even now, I still take immense pleasure in simply sitting down and reading a book, taking solace in immersing myself in every word, every page, every spellbinding character interaction. And no series in recent memory has enthralled me with its rapturous conversations quite like Monogatari. And that's in large part due to the fantastic writing found within its pages, thanks to author Nisio Isin. Acerbic, witty, and oftentimes downright hilarious, he's constantly playing with expectations, weaving suspense and humor together into a wonderful amalgamation. But where his real strengths lie is in one specific aspect of his writing. This line, either exactly as written or changed up to match a different POV, presents itself at the end of every single tale in the series. But really, it was that word right there. Punchline. That evokes a certain feeling, right? The conclusion ultimately is funny, but it's also unexpected. It causes a shift in our entire understanding of the initial and primary conclusion of what happened at the end of the tale. And look, okay, it's a humorous twist, and Isin does this shit every single time, and he always subverts my expectations. Case in point. The obvious interpretation is that Senjigahara's weight, both literally and emotionally, is restored to her upon the defeat of the crab god. Yet, right at the last moment, in the epilogue, Araragi steps on the scale and oi oi. There's the punchline. As a result of helping Senjigahara, Araragi now shares that weight. He literally gains some, and we come to see that Senjigahara eventually falls for him. And emotionally, he's gained weight from helping someone he wasn't remotely close to. The crab god being used as the reason for all of this outcome is merely a scapegoat, a convenient and funny way to play off their collective and individual growth as people. It's unexpected that he'd literally gain a bunch of weight, but it's that last second twist that makes you realize that Oshino, and really Isin, was right all along in telling us that we didn't really get it. Sure, he's saying that to Araragi, but it's directly to the viewers as well, and it's that final payoff that connects everything together and makes you sit back and realize, well, shit, man. They got me. That was good. Unless I'm the only one that does that. Anyway, Isin likes to explore the idea of loss in each of his stories, and that theming manifests itself brilliantly in 3 characters in this arc. Most notably, she's the best, alright? Turns out, she's quite literally lost, left to wander an urban labyrinth, a landscape deprived of a friendly face or a helping hand. Until... After a long day full of meaningful conversations, Hachikuji is ultimately returned to a home that no longer exists, where the initial twist is... Turns out Araragi's been chit-chatting with someone that only he and Hanekawa could see. Interesting. Again, key word here, Hachikuji is lost, and once she's been brought to where she was intending to go all along, she vanishes, only to pop up again the next day. Araragi was the lost one all along. And Hachikuji's momentary disappearance is merely a reflection of his mental state. After talking to her and Senjugahara all day, after getting some stuff off of his chest, he eventually returns home and all is well. However, even though he isn't lost anymore, he's very much still meandering through life. Sure, he's returned home as well, he's not literally lost anymore, but mentally, emotionally, he's very much still in a fog that will take quite a bit more time to disperse. He still feels poorly for how he interacts with his family, and feels guilt about his progress post-middle school. Their conversations explicitly outline these underlying fears and concerns. Hence, violence is another motif that, much like the levels it reaches, pops up wildly and even unexpectedly, and it makes quite the proper introduction following the events with our favorite lolly. Speaking of introductions, we see yet another in this arc in the form of Kanbaru, who's, a very sane and in control of their life individual. Her murderous intent, while not initially clear, is certainly potent, manifesting in the corporeal form of an odd monkey arm. Turns out this isn't a coincidence. Kanbaru wished upon a rainy devil, granting her this bizarre appendage. The wish in question, in truth, it's merely a nice way of phrasing her desire to kill the one person standing in her way of love. To make the problem go away, then, Araragi just needs to die. There you go. Problem solved. Yet the conclusion belies this understanding entirely. Ultimately, it was still a half-truth. Sure, she wanted Araragi dead in her pursuit of love, but she wasn't being untruthful in also desiring closeness with Senjugahara again. And she gets just that in the resolution of this arc. Friendship, at least, is restored. But Araragi doesn't meet his demise, hence why her arm doesn't go back to normal. Emotionally, she's no closer than she was before. She's still rejected outright, and, well, there's no way that will end up going well. Isen's phrasing is always interesting, and every conversation, monotonous or otherwise, holds far more weight than you'd expect. He's clearly a master of his craft, and it's not just due to his prodigious output. No. It's down to precisely these setups, these punchlines that illuminate both Araragi and us, the reader, the viewer, to something even more potent. Ultimately, I love what he's actually getting at. He calls it a punchline because it is humorous, no doubt about that, but really, it's about being able to smile and laugh at the ways in which life will throw you curveballs, and how we're all forced to recognize our faults in order to grow as people. There's a real emotional weight behind every story and every setup, and it speaks to how even amidst all of the amusing discourse and creepy fake-outs, Monogatari is about finding humor in all of life's trials. And it makes me appreciate Isen even more for how delicately he's continued to try and teach everyone via his writing. And everyone's always learning, so slow it down, take it all in, and... look at Yatsuki's feet.
モノキちゃん